listening to Sports Radio Detroit.
Hello and welcome back to a merry grave discussions.
Ho ho ho.
I am Barnabas.
And I am Samael.
A happy Ho-Ho-Horrordays to all of you fiends out there. We hope that you all have a great Christmas or whatever you celebrate first and foremost. And we're glad to be here with you. So today is a special episode where we're going to be talking about holiday horror movies. And I'm pretty pumped because, you know, there's I think a soft spot in a lot of people's hearts for Christmas or holiday horror movies.
Yeah, and there's not too many Christmas ones, at least in like the mainstream. There's a lot of shitty independent ones like Mother Krampus and then whatever the fuck else they got. I don't want to know about that realm of Christmas horror, so we're not going to be talking about that shit today.
No, but stay tuned, and we hope that you've all had a great week. We're going to catch you guys up with some news before we jump into the rest of our episode. But first, we would be remiss if we didn't mention Sports Radio Detroit, who host our show and a lot of other great ones. And the people should know where they can find Sports Radio Detroit.
They can find them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's SRD, Sports Radio Detroit, not Detroit Sports Radio. It's not us.
That's right. Yeah, get it straight. So go check them out. And you can check out our show and a lot of other great shows as well. So the first article today is a really sad one. This just happened.
Shit, yeah.
And you know what's ironic? I'm wearing my Camp Crystal Lake hoodie. So
Oh, shit.
Steve Dash, who played Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th Part 2, passed away today. He was struggling with diabetes and, I don't know, a bunch of other illnesses. So it's very sad. R.I.P. to a true legend.
Yeah, the first adult Jason, man. Something that another guy, Mr. Gillette, takes credit for at like the conventions, but
Yeah.
no, that's not him. This is him, and you know he's gone. He's gone forever.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites. And apparently he's like super nice in person, and he's like really passionate about going to all the horror cons and meeting fans and everything. So that sucks.
Dude, the first fucking Jason.
Yeah.
I hope like Richard Brooker is not next. He was the fucking second adult Jason.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard from either of these guys since these movies, but this is what they're known for. And
yeah.
damn, it's fucked up, bro. Like 74 years old. I mean, he lived pretty old, man. I hope I get to 74. I probably won't, but I hope I do.
Yeah, same. That's really all we can hope for. But it sucks. But you know, RIP to him. It's just crazy. You like watch these guys in the 80s, you know, or you watch them now, even, you know, if you weren't born back then, and you don't really think about it. And then these guys, a lot of them just, you know, end up passing away. So it's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of these original, like, you know, these big horror stars, I mean, they're getting old. I mean, because it was the 80s. Now we're in 2018, and a lot of them are in their 60s and 70s, and it's going to be fucked up seeing all these guys pass away, man. Like,
yeah, for real. I can't even imagine it. So that was just announced today as breaking news, so I had to share it in case you didn't hear about it. But we're going to move on to something a little happier, at least, you know, in the realm of new horror movie release announcements. So this next one's pretty cool. It's about a creepypasta. So we actually just had one of these announced, but here's another one about the Russian sleep experiment. It's some like crazy creepypasta about some like Soviet people who are forced to like not sleep for days and days and days, and then they go crazy. And there's these like scientists.
Yeah, I saw the short story on the short video on YouTube. That shit was fucked up. They were like smearing their shit on the walls and beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah, it's honestly a pretty nuts creepypasta. I did read it like a long time ago, but it's being adapted into a movie, and it's going to be a little different. It says it's kind of like more loosely based on the creepypasta, but it's happening. It's essentially the same plot line, and this one is coming at you spring of 2019.
Oh shit! So pretty fucking soon, in a couple months.
Yeah. So
I like
I'm
to think
pretty excited.
optimistic. The winter is almost gone to me. Like December's gone and we still haven't had that much snow. So, I'm pretty pumped for April. Should be here anytime. Probably within the next week or so.
Yeah, that's kind of like my hope, but we'll see. I'm pretty excited about this one. For some reason, Chris Kattan from Saturday Night Live is in this, along with Charles Hubble, Paul Cram, and Michael Viller, and they're supposed to be like the patients.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be called The Soviet Sleep Experiment. So be on the lookout for that one. I'm sure once a trailer drops, we'll be on it.
Why they change it? I mean, they still called Slender Man. They didn't call him Skinny Man for the fucking Hollywood one. Should just call it the Russian Sleep Experiment.
I mean,
is Russian too? Is that racist, people? I don't know. Tell me. Is that That sounds worse.
Kind of, yeah.
That's like calling me a communist. Like fuck.
I don't know. I mean, I guess why did they keep
country.
it the patient who nearly drove me out of medicine or whatever? I don't know why people do these things. But anyway, let's move on. Another good bit of news, at least if you're like me and you're a fan of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, it just got renewed by Netflix for a 3rd and 4th season. So that's pretty dope. I'm excited about it because I really like the show a lot. And I'm looking forward to season 2 and 3 and 4, apparently now.
I know you just told me to watch that like Christmas one recently.
Yeah.
But I still haven't watched it.
I mean, it just came out, but it's pretty good.
Do they celebrate Christmas though?
They celebrate
like anti-Christmas.
Yeah, they celebrate like the witches' Christmas, which is called Yule.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like a whole big thing in the show, but it's a cool episode, I thought. And they introduced like a new demon.
Oh shit!
So yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Just for this episode, or is it gonna be like throughout the next 2 seasons?
I think just for this episode. So it's kind of like a one-time event, and then season 2 is gonna start off where like this left off.
And any confirmation on the date on that?
I think it said April 9th or something like that for season 2.
It's been about a week or 2.
Yeah, right. Basically. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Just expect to watch Sabrina for the next at least 2 years or something. So that's all the news we have for you guys. We got a couple new trailer announcements as well, including the biggest one that dropped today, a day early. So this is a special treat for everybody. Hellboy.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the trailer just dropped. And I will say initially it looks
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
CGI?
Well, not just that, because they were playing it off like it was going to be more dark, like more horror, and it's
like a superhero movie now.
Well, at least like the trailer doesn't really give off that vibe. There's like upbeat music, and then there's like the comedy elements which do exist in Hellboy, but Hellboy in general is pretty dark and has like some heavy subject matter and stuff, and just the way that at least the comic looks, it's pretty dark. So
I just hate when they start adding all this like comedy shit to like these like movies with like serious stuff. Like the whole is that kind of even almost ruined. Like a lot of people praised Halloween for that.
mm-hmm.
That scene with the little kid and his babysitter. Like come on, was that really necessary? Like and all like the weird jokes about like getting like chocolate on your dick by the dad at the beginning.
I remember.
They need to chill out with these comedy elements. All right, I came to be scared. Like if you make me laugh, then I'm not gonna be on edge ever again. Like during the movie. Like
I mean, you can have some like stuff that isn't really like intended to be that funny, but if it's funny, then great. Kind of like in The Conjuring. Like there's some pretty funny moments in The Conjuring, but they're not just
it's
like
subtle.
shoehorned in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a comedy movie. Whereas like, since like, what's his name from what's that little short fat fucker's name that's on Blumhouse? Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Yeah, since he was, a part of this shit, like that's where I felt like the comedy felt like in Halloween, just like the one from Pineapple Express, like just when there was comedy, like especially even with that kid, he's like, "What's going on, man? You're acting kind of sketchy, dude." Like when he thought fucking Michael was, the neighbor. I don't know. It just seems like we need to stop putting the comedy feel in horror movies. Have jokes, but don't make it feel like a comedy for like 30 seconds and then go back to like I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you. I wasn't a fan. I mean, I hope that the vibe is different than what's portrayed in the trailer. Like maybe they're just trolling us, but
they could be. I don't know.
It's possible, but it does look kind of like action heavy. So almost tonally like kind of similar to the Del Toro ones. So I don't know. We'll see. But I actually do like David Harbour as Hellboy a lot.
I was gonna say I think the tone of this movie is gonna be similar to the Predator movie.
That's kind of the vibe it's giving off right now, honestly. Yeah.
I don't mind that.
I mean, yeah, as long as it's done well.
It's gonna feel like a horror movie.
Yeah,
they specifically said it's darker.
It's gonna be darker. Yeah.
It's like no, maybe they just use darker lighting. But that's about it. That's a darker thing. Man.
Well, I hope I'm wrong, but the trailer is out right now. You can go to Bloody Disgusting or anything really and find it. But the movie is coming out April 12th, 2019. Be on the lookout. I'm still excited for it because I do want to see it because I love Hellboy, but the trailer kind of disappointing, honestly. So the next trailer is about a movie called Braid. Now this one looks absolutely batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Basically, it's about two women who are trying to rob their friend. Which already sounds fucked up, but they're like criminals.
That sounds like some Hush, not Hush. What's that movie? Don't Breathe? That sounds
yeah. Kind of. So they try to rob their friend who is mentally unstable and has like this imaginary fantasy world. So apparently, I don't know, apparently the shit is like real or something. So they try to steal from her because she's rich. And they end up in this like make-believe game. And this is this whole like crazy psycho like thing,
I don't know, when she got smacked in her kneecaps with that hammer, I was like, all right, this is gonna be one of those crazy fucking movies like Hostel, like the body horror, like that just focuses on like the brutality.
But it's also like super trippy and like in your head and like psychological horror kinda. That it almost felt to me like a blend of Get Out and I don't know, some other movie like Jacob's Ladder or something, just some crazy shit.
Yeah, we'll see what it's gonna be like because that shit. I don't know, like I said, as soon as the hammer landed on the kneecap, I was like, all right, this is
one of those
gonna
movies.
Be fucked up, but I gotta watch it.
Yeah, I do have to. Yeah, it does look really good. The cinematography especially looks like really interesting. They have like a lot of like Dutch angles and stuff and like trippy colors and I don't know. It looks it kind of reminds me of Suspiria almost. Like once they started showing all those like crazy images. Actually, the old one kind of.
Oh shit!
Because the colors in this one looked kind of like crazy, So
we'll see if the trailer is just like a trailer or if like Because I don't know. Lately, I've been seeing in a lot of horror movies, like I'd see some shit in the trailer and it wasn't in the movie, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
They just like filmed some shit, basically thinking like, oh, this would be cool in a trailer,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like a lot of people film trailer stuff before they actually film the entire movie.
That makes sense.
Sometimes, yeah. But anyway, Madeline Brewer, who we talked about recently in Netflix's Cam, is starring in this along with Imogen Waterhouse and Sarah Hay. I'm pretty excited for it. It's coming out February 1st in some theaters and on VOD platforms. All right. The last trailer we have for you guys today is for a movie called Piercing.
So imagine 50 Shades of Grey, except like both people are out of their fucking minds.
Yeah. And they're like basically sadists or I don't know, masochists for both. They're just,
I guess.
They're just fucking crazy.
Except they like bleeding and like cutting each other's faces and shit that's not normal.
Yeah, it's like really, really weird, like niche, like sadomasochism.
And I know there's like no kink shaming. Hey, if we're at Kmart and you just cut someone's face open, I'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So you can't just do it while you're fucking and expect everything to be okay. That shit's weird.
Yeah. but it does look absolutely fucking bonkers. And I recognize the guy.
I just couldn't. You know what I liked? I couldn't tell what the fuck the story like really was, or like in which direction it was gonna go.
Yeah.
Like, is she gonna kill him? Is he gonna kill her? Like,
I
what's
mean,
about to happen?
I kind of like that they didn't really give a hint, because then that would be giving it away.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
So I'm excited for it even more.
I'm gonna keep throwing shots at them until the year's over. I'm telling you, like
I
Halloween
believe you.
gave too much away in their fucking trailers.
Yeah, kind of. At least, especially with that one shot, like that was,
Dude, like
It
he
was
literally walked all the
intense,
way
but-
into and where he walked all the way into the garage for like
yeah.
40 seconds, then walked into the house and clobbered the old lady with the hammer.
The fact that it was still one of the coolest moments in the movie, like, just made it that much worse for me.
Yeah.
But this trailer actually looks pretty good, and I'm excited for the movie itself. It's by Nicholas Pesci.
It's just
Who
like
did
some
The Eyes of My Mother.
it's just like some next level 50 Shades shit. It's
Yeah.
like,
Basically, it was described as like psychosexual and
yeah.
all this kind of stuff. So if
Well,
you're
it doesn't
into
seem
that,
like a horror movie. It seems like a fucking
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
I mean, yeah,
remember what we
kinda.
said about classifying it as horror if we put ourselves in that position?
Mhm.
And they both like that shit. So now
Yeah.
we're just watching like fucking sex horror.
Yeah, but it seemed like the guy wasn't
Like,
Like,
all the way into
sure. Well, I don't think he knew that like she was also
it. Like out of her fucking
crazy as shit. Yeah, but basically, it stars Christopher Abbott and Mia Wasikowska, and yeah, they get together and they do some crazy shit, which is basically what it looks like. But that one's also coming out February 1st on digital HD and VOD platforms and in some theaters. So just check, and you'll be able to see like what theaters are showing it. So that's all the trailers we got for you guys. We're going to move on to our first segment of the episode, and it is the Cult Corner. And on this week's Cult Corner, I got you there.
Yeah, you didn't.
We have a true Christmas horror classic, Black Christmas.
Hailing from 1974. The 06 remake wasn't bad for what it was, because unlike this movie, it didn't take itself seriously. There's a lot of blood and the kills were like super cool. The jump scares were like ahead of its time. This came out in 06. Like I think Black Christmas is like the master of jump scares, the remake. Quote me on that too.
Really?
Like I think that's what like dude, there was so much bro. That movie built suspense good too. Like there would be like a chick outside standing underneath an icicle, and then you hear crawling under the house, and she looks, and then someone comes out of another direction and attacks her, then the icicle falls through her head. It's like
Yeah.
we knew it was gonna happen, but like just the camera angles they used, it had a good score. There was a lot of gore too, and the storyline was fucked up, but the original was much more simple. So there's these sorority house bitches, right? And they're the kappa ba, and most of them, like there's one of them's British, the other ones are American. One of them's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
They're just a fucking mess.
Well, they're all alcoholics. Let's be real.
So the beginning of the movie starts off as just the first person camera shot, real giallo style. He's walking up to the house. We don't know who. We just see someone, and there's ominous music playing, so we know it's not someone they're expecting, nor someone that should be near the house. Then he starts climbing the vine, and then all of a sudden, the rest of the movie is just basically this. He keeps calling them, and they keep disappearing one by one. He keeps saying like this weird shit every time he fucking calls. He's like, Agnes, it's me, Billy, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? Who is this? And he's like, where's the baby? Like it's just fucking crazy. That I liked how it built suspense. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie. At some part, I was gonna say parts and portions, but I couldn't pick, and I just started yammering. At some parts, I just felt like it dragged on, like there was really nothing happening. But there was a lot going into the investigation of what's her name that was missing, Claire.
Yeah.
And then her dad came, and he was just like, "Where is my daughter?" And then like you got the headmistress, and she's an alcoholic too, and she's like really rude, like much like the other alcoholic chick that's also in the frat.
And basically, it's just about a bunch of alcoholics dying.
Yeah, the main character is Olivia Hussey, and what we also have in this movie is like still to this day people their red herring was so good in this movie, fucking Peter.
Yeah, I agree completely.
And because like I said, still to this day people online are like, no, I think Billy was Peter and Peter lost his. It's like, dude, like
the hair is different. You see when he stabs the chick with the unicorn, it wasn't him, but they wanted us to think it was like.
You know those
fucking thing.
online conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, they're fucking stupid. Because like she killed him, but at the end of the movie, you still hear him singing in the attic, and you see the door open as she's sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, that was a creepy ass final scene.
I liked the score was good. Cinematography, it was nothing special. It was all you were always like up close and personal with like one of the characters.
But you do have to appreciate all the moving body, the first person shots.
Oh yeah, the first person shots were the best because like, especially like the murder shots. I also liked the fact that like they never showed like the killer's whole face. They used the lighting really well and the shadows to like only like show like a quarter of his face, like his like right eye or something. Even though like he's clear as day in front of this chick with like a glass unicorn.
Yeah, that was actually kind of a difference between this movie and like the Giallo. The Giallo movies eventually would either give you a strong hint as to who the killer was or actually show you who the killer was. This movie didn't really do that, which I appreciated. It took, it did its own thing. But you could also tell like the heavy Hitchcock influence as well, I think, in the use of all the shadows and everything was just really great. And actually the cinematographer, I think I read, strapped he jury rigged like some kind of contraption on his back to like carry the camera, and that's how he did all the shots where it was like first person POV and he was like climbing down the ladder and stuff like that.
Oh shit.
So you got to respect that. I mean, it
was probably him doing the voices then too when
I think it was Bob Clark who did the voices.
Really?
I think so.
That's fucking weird.
I know, right?
He was.
Yeah, apparently there was some like other dialogue that the actresses were hearing over the phone, like much tamer, because what's like in the movie is pretty fucked up, right? Like some crazy shit, and apparently he added that after everything.
Yeah, because they'd probably really be freaked out. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like,
And the most probably iconic shot from the movie was it Claire? She had the bag over her head.
Yeah, when she was just sitting in the rocking chair and he was just rocking it and singing Little Baby Bunting. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
That shit was crazy. And they showed her just slowly kind of like decaying over the course of the entire movie, just up there in the window, rocking back and forth. It was really unsettling.
This was what's the word for it? This was like the pioneer for slashers because we had Psycho before this. We had the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Peeping Tom.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. But this one was different.
Yeah.
This one was like super different than those because like you said, you didn't find out who the fuck it was.
Right.
It's just some guy. And there wasn't like too much like, I don't know, like the older movies seem to have like better character development at least. At least Psycho did, than this. I mean, for this one, I only cared about Olivia Hussey's character.
I think you have to mention Margot Kidder's character. That
I forgot Margot Kidder was in this.
Yeah, me too. Like she almost comes off as the protagonist in the beginning. At least that's what I thought.
She didn't
and then
die,
Olivia
did
Hussey takes over. I think she did, but I'm not 100% sure. I just watched it, but I forget.
Oh yeah, she
things.
did die
Yeah,
after she went to go check on. They already showed Billy was in the room. I'm assuming that's his name, because I've heard Billy Black. Even though, hear me out. Someone said John Carpenter created Halloween as a prequel to Black Christmas. So right before Billy, like up until that point where he stumbles upon that house, like he his name isn't Billy. He's just some fucking crazy dude. Like. He goes around killing people, and he has like a different persona because he's nuts. Like he got shot off the balcony, and then he just wandered off, and then.
But isn't that
That's what they said. Like, because Black Christmas was like 100% inspired John Carpenter. He said like that was like his like main inspiration for Halloween, and then I think they just wanted to call it though the babysitter murders because instead of like college chicks, they wanted to do babysitters because. A lot of people can relate. Everyone had a babysitter or was a babysitter. And then, and then John pitched the idea, let's do it around Halloween. And then, is there any movie named Halloween? No? Okay, cool. Like,
which was crazy.
But so this is like, I don't know. Black Christmas is like basically like the unofficial, like, at least in John Carpenter's original thought, it's like Black Christmas is like the unoriginal sequel to like, that's the fan theory. Like,
okay, I never heard of the
because he was inspired by it, so they said like, oh, it's Halloween's the prequel to this, but and Black Christmas inspired like, since it inspired Halloween, which is like the king of the slashers. So came the '80s knockoffs, and if we pull it back to like how it was between like, I think 74 and 78 with the slashers, it'd be more interesting because like they were good at building suspense back then. There was like a decent score. There was pretty good jump scares back then too.
Yeah. I also
as opposed to nowadays, like all the gore.
Well, I also just think that they didn't give a shit back then, because people weren't getting offended so much, and like or whatever, and stuff wasn't as polished, so all the violence was a little grittier. I mean, at least I think those are a couple of reasons, but no, yeah, I totally get it. You got to remember too that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out the same year as this.
Exactly, yeah.
But this is still like so inspirational and widely regarded as one of the best horror movies I think ever.
And a lot of people regard this as like the first official like slasher movie too.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I don't quite agree with that,
I
but
don't either, because Psycho was clearly a slasher.
And I think even you said like this almost doesn't even really qualify as a slasher, because it's really more of like a psychological like stalker kind of horror movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can still, I
fucks
guess,
with
call it a slasher.
Like I don't think he's crazy in the way like that he really is saying these things and he's thinking of Billy, Agnes, mommy, is the baby okay? I think he's just saying this stuff on the phone just to freak them out. Like he's that type of person, because I see as soon as he hangs up the phone, like he's just normal. Like, you know what I mean? I think he's just like, he's trying to keep them on edge, like to make them look over their shoulder so that they're relaxed at the house, because he's really in the house. Like,
I mean, because he's got to have some kind of intelligence to just be able to post up there, nobody find him, and just kill people.
Yeah,
I mean, and like evade the police and stuff.
He's like one of the descendants of the original hunter-gatherer like people.
Yeah, probably.
He's from one of the first tribes on Earth.
All right. Well, is that your fan theory?
No, I'm just dicking around.
No, I get it though. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we don't really know, which is the thing. But yeah, this movie's super influential. Now, I guess I do have to point out, since this is the holiday episode, this does take place on Christmas. So is the movie itself really that Christmassy besides that?
They had their Christmas lights up. They had the carolers. You remember the carolers?
Yeah.
As what's her name? Barb was getting stabbed to death with a unicorn. The carolers are just
yeah,
or whatever the fuck.
That was a great scene.
Yeah, it was. I like how they did that.
Yeah, initially I didn't think it was gonna go long, but then like the murder started happening and stuff. So I was like, all right, this is cool.
I liked how they like slowed it down while he was stabbing her too, while they were singing. It was just, you just felt uneasy. I liked how they built up that like that unease for that like whole scene. They're like, all right, how long are we gonna watch this bitch get stabbed? Like,
yeah, so I do agree about that and about all the lights and everything. So it was really more of like a Christmassy kind of vibe, but it wasn't really directly involved with Christmas stuff.
They even say like, oh, Yule party, like they're
it was just a backdrop.
Yeah, none of them really mentioned even like holidays or anything. Like, well, they didn't mention Christmas. They mentioned, Claire needs to come home for the holidays or whatever. Like, and they mentioned Yule. Like, they never said really like, oh, the Christmas carolers. They just be like, yeah, the carolers. Like, it seemed more like not like an anti-Christian movie, but like they didn't want to be like, like all Christmassy. Like, if you don't like, be nice, and then Jesus, Santa, and Krampus are gonna come fuck you up. Like,
it was really just more of like a kind of background thing, but it's just kind of crazy to think about it. Like, just by it being called Black Christmas, it's like now, really renowned as like a Christmas horror movie. Yeah, which is pretty nuts.
The remake, though, we got to talk about that one.
Okay, I don't remember it quite as much, but I'll try.
Hella Christmas vibes, Christmas cookies. They're talking about Christmas.
Yeah.
Weird incest thing going on. Billy's mom rapes him and creates Agnes, his sister daughter. And
see, that's why I couldn't get into that movie. It was too much of that shoehorning in just these stupid explanations, and reasons to, make you sympathize with the killer and all this kind of crazy shit.
Oh yeah, but after you see them kill a few people, you don't sympathize at all.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in this movie, you find out in this one there was 2 killers.
Mm-hmm.
Agnes, who was played by like some like 6'2", like 230-pound dude, and it was like some dude played him. Like, I mean, you can tell he has like a boxer's neck and chin, like.
Yeah.
And then Billy's like this like 5'8", like just semi-chubby guy in like mental ward pajamas, like, and he's just pulling people's eyeballs out and stabbing them and shit. And
it kind of reminds me of some like See No Evil kind of
Yeah.
shit. And that's kind of how it turned into, just these like large monsters once again, just ripping people's heads off.
I liked it though. Like, it had hella holiday vibes. Like, it had the drunk chick again, of course.
Of course.
And she got killed by Agnes, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
with the unicorn. Yeah, Agnes killed her with the unicorn.
Okay. I mean, yeah, the whole like 2 killers thing for me was like not that great.
You know what's weird? I watched the remake first. So when I watched
There
the
you go.
original one, I was like, I probably know how this is gonna go. And then I started watching. I was like, no, this is weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't like disturbing. Well, the new one wasn't disturbing. It was just like a splatter film.
Mhm.
But like, I don't know what I liked it. Maybe it's like the 10 hot chicks they have in the movie,
Could be.
or just like the kills. I think it's probably the kills.
Yeah. I mean, that is one thing. Like, the more, well, if you use practical effects, the more polished your horror movie is, you do get some really awesome kills.
Yeah, and that's what this had. This didn't use any CGI, I don't think.
Yeah.
Probably to make Billy's skin green, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Or
But I
yellow.
mean, like 30 years later almost, it's going to look way better.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I want to get like the Black Christmas fucking remake Blu-ray, and I had the original Blu-ray. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I just lost that shit.
damn. Yeah, that sucks. I would treasure that for sure.
It literally fell somewhere in my room and I never saw it again.
Well, I will be on the lookout for it. For you. Like, in general.
Probably gonna
So-
check Amazon after this episode. In all seriousness,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Shudder has the movie. So,
not in HD though.
well, I mean, kind of. Anything else about Black Christmas? I mean, it's a classic.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, check it out. I mean, I watch it every fucking December.
Yep. Not hella Christmas vibes, but still, it's there in the background, and you do kind of feel it. But really, it's just a deranged movie.
Yeah, it's more just the setting that's Christmassy. And things.
But let's actually talk about some, kind of more holiday, Christmassy type horror movies. And we're going to do that right after this short break.
Hi, this is Chris.
And this is Roger.
And if you like Tigers baseball, Major League Baseball, Minor League Baseball, analytics, pop culture references, movies, sports, food, check us out. Look for Tigers SRD on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify.
Do you love pop culture? Discussions about pop culture? Ranking and rating treasured pieces of that shared culture against each other?
I mean, I do think Flea's a good bass player. He does what he does very well. And like I said, he's like a rock star, He's eccentric. And what is so funny?
I just didn't know he talked so long about Flea. I didn't know anybody had so many feelings.
I do.
So many
I got
feelings.
yeah.
Music, movies, television, food, sports, pro wrestling. We are the determination of what is over or underrated across all fields of greater cultural consumption. Subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts and Podbean, or visit us at sportsradiodetroit.com. Over, under, fair. Your final word in pop cultural relevance.
So, there are a lot of other Christmas horror movies. We're going to probably just discuss a couple of the highlights. And I think you got to start off with one of the next really excellent ones, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh man, I watched this the first time last year, like during the holidays, and like, dude, it was so fucking like, what's the word for it?
I don't know. It was just,
At first, it was serious because like the kid's parents get like killed and his mom gets raped right in front of him, and then she gets killed, and then by like a killer Santa Claus, like Santa Claus robbed them or whatever, and he's just on the side of the road watching that shit, and like he came out of this like fucking literally holy hell house with these hellish nuns and shit, and like they'd beat this fucking shit out of you. And like he gets triggered while he's working at a toy store by Santa Claus, and then he sports the outfit and kills naughty people, in his words.
yeah. So that was one of the first movies, I think, to really establish the whole like Santa Claus persona as a killer, but it wasn't quite the first. Actually, I think there was a movie in the 70s possibly that did it, but I know one of the first ones was Christmas Evil.
Yeah.
And that movie was insane as well. I mean, I want to come back to it in a little bit, but Silent Night, Deadly Night, probably definitely the most popular of the two. And I think for good reason. I mean, it's slightly more of like a lighthearted thing.
Yeah.
Than Christmas Evil, because Christmas Evil was just the entire way through just kind of really depressing and stuff.
Yeah.
But Silent Night, Deadly Night is more of like
It's
your
fun.
classic slasher.
Except the beginning. Like the beginning was horrific.
Yeah.
And then, is this the one with his crazy grandpa where he says Santa Claus is gonna kill him or whatever?
Yeah.
I like that shit right off the bat. I was like, oh, you got the crazy fucking old guy who's gonna be great.
Yeah, that scene was pretty good actually. I don't remember who the actor that play the grandpa was, but I think he did a great job there. But that was the one. So Silent Night, Deadly Night, definitely more of like the classic slasher, because it features a lot more of the up close and personal like kill scenes. You know, Christmas Evil, really there's only like a handful, not even a handful, like a couple deaths. You know, it was really more about this like guy's obsession with Santa Claus, because he saw his dad as Santa Claus, like fondling his mom when he was young, and now he's like insane and sexually repressed. I don't know how these things work.
People like that, don't they ever figure out that it was like when they're older that it was just their dad dressed as Santa Claus?
Right? Like, what did
Are
you
you
think was
fucking
going
stupid?
on?
Do you think Santa Claus really came and your mom sucked him off? Are you fucking 9 your whole life?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, you have
At least
to
the
be
guy
able
from
to,
Silent Night, Deadly Night, his parents got murdered by Santa Claus.
yeah.
And of course he doesn't get triggered because he knows that's Santa Claus. He's like, oh, some fucker dressed as Santa killed them. And then
Mhm.
he's like, I gotta be Santa if I want to be safe from Santa. Like the whole become the hunter and not the prey thing, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, that I completely understand. This, not quite so much, but I mean, I guess it's still a pretty cool concept to base, you know, this whole story off of, because he snaps too after he hears someone like bad mouthing him. So he goes to the extreme. He like glues all the hair to his face and stuff, and he like dons the outfit, and he just like goes after people.
Yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night, definitely my preferred over the two. Just
Yeah.
because like the sledding scene was hilarious.
It was, yeah. That was definitely like more in the realm of like Friday the 13th and stuff.
You know what kind of pissed me off? He saved that woman in the toy shop from being like raped.
Oh, and
By-
Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like she looked at him like he was a monster for killing the rapist.
Yeah. I mean,
I was
don't
like,
know.
yo,
I think if I saw anybody just chopped up, I would probably also have that look at whoever it was.
because the first thing you wouldn't think is, oh, he saved me. You'd be like, fuck, I'm next. Bro.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah, exactly. Because he could just be some fucking deranged killer, which
yeah,
he is.
He
so.
wasn't trying to fucking help you. You know, he was
Yeah.
trying to just fucking kill because that motherfucker was, you know,
Mhm.
dressed. Was it him that was dressed as Santa?
It was like the boy that grew up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that whole thing triggered him, man. He was
Yeah. Exactly.
It was only a matter of time. The deer scene too, when he snuck into that fucking house
I don't
with
quite
the
remember.
antlers.
Oh yeah, I think I do remember.
He stuck
yeah.
that bitch on the antlers, man.
Yeah, that whole movie was crazy. But yeah, this guy basically just snapped. Christmas Evil was more of like a psychological horror about this guy's slow descent into madness, and he's just obsessed with Santa Claus. I like both movies though. Christmas Evil really caught me off guard, but both actually had some pretty good Christmas vibes. I mean, they both featured the whole Santa as a killer thing, which was relatively new at that time. So these were pretty innovative movies, I think. And then a lot of people probably don't know this or forget this, but Silent Night, Deadly Night spawned like 6 sequels or something.
Yeah, but
what?
it was also like heavily disliked because like I guess you know everyone like believed in Jesus back in like the 70s or whatever the fuck they believed in.
Yeah.
It's so funny now. Like back in the day, it was like a big deal showing a killer Santa because they say nowadays it's people are more sensitive, but it's just funny to me. Back in the day, people were sensitive as fuck about killer Santa. Now there's like literally porn videos like Santa fucking midgets and be like
Yeah.
Santa fucking the elves, you know, like And no one bats an eye.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, Samael.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. As long as we both understand that.
Yeah, I'm not even here right now.
I'm
just
here.
life experiencing itself, bro.
So those two movies, yeah, highly kind of vilified almost by like the general public for the subject matter. And very controversial, but now in, retrospect, awesome movies.
Yeah.
At least, we didn't grow up during that whole era of commotion about it. So for us, it was pretty normal. We look at this movie and we're like,
sure it was
okay.
banned for a minute too.
Probably.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah, Christmas Evil, I don't think really got as much hype, so that one probably slipped through. But it was still pretty dark. But we do have to talk about a few other ones. There are a couple other ones that don't really deal with the Santa Claus as a killer thing, but are still pretty widely regarded. Like very highly Christmas horror movies. The one that I want to talk about, especially Krampus.
Dude, I saw this shit in theaters back in like 2015. This was the shit.
Yeah.
This was like probably, besides like, it's probably like in my top 5 horror movies of like the past 10 years.
Nice. Yeah, it was a surprise hit.
You don't expect the ending either.
Mm-hmm.
I like the creatures.
Yeah, the actual character of Krampus was awesome.
Even his fucking minions were dope.
Mm-hmm.
He had like, was it the gingerbread men or whatever the fuck he
Yeah,
had? Like,
those were kind of the only ones I didn't really like as much because they were all just CGI.
yeah, it was great though. But the rest of them,
fun.
like, all of them were fucking monsters. They didn't even need Krampus to like show up. He just showed up just so he could be like, ha ha ha, kid. Like, remember he laughed at the kid when he asked for his family back and shit.
Yeah, dude, that shit was brutal.
But this movie was like really like, the focus was like family, not taking your family for granted, because Krampus comes after naughty kids, and this kid didn't appreciate anything, so Krampus came and was like, hey, guess what, kid?
Yeah.
In the bag.
I'm glad that this movie didn't give a fuck at multiple points, because we need movies like that and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Black Christmas again, I think, just to give us that edge, right? Because we're kind of missing it from a lot of movies now.
There needs to be
Krampus
some shock value too in these fucking movies. Like,
Yeah.
I know like too much shock value is cheap, like a Serbian film,
Yeah.
but like at least have like Leatherface like kill a pregnant woman. In like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Like, oh, that's horrible. Oh, it's fake, dumbass. Like, it didn't really happen.
Yeah, but think about it. Would that shock you? Yes.
Exactly.
That's what these movies are trying to do. So
that's why it's a horror movie.
Exactly.
Not a fucking. You didn't come here to be entertained.
We
you came here to be fucking scared.
We talked about it. Go look at a
week ago.
Go listen to the last episode. Yeah, episode 40.
Nothing I don't think is too much in horror, unless like if you're only going for shock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you have a great movie and then there's like a fucking crazy moment. Like Hereditary, when the mom started sawing at her neck in the fucking attic. You remember that shit?
Dude. That was crazy.
And then it had its moments, like when the fucking kid started crying. And I was like, oh, this is funny.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Well, speaking of which, Krampus did have a lot of comedic elements too.
Oh, it had a lot.
But it
What's
had a
his
good
name was in
balance.
there?
Let's see. David Koechner?
Yeah.
Koechner? Whatever. I don't know. Toni Collette also, speaking of which, was in this. And Adam Scott. Kind of a weird choice. But
yeah, I always thought that was like the weirdest fucking choice out of
But
everyone.
effective, I think. I think he did a good job.
Oh, yeah. Because it seemed like a legit family, too. Like,
yeah. Like
Didn't
you
seem
have
like
the
they
one
were-
shitty side of the family, but like they still love you,
the acting was good in this movie, too. I thought it was going to be like shitty because it was like kind of like comedy-ish horror, but no, it was like spot on. Like,
Yeah.
It didn't take itself seriously, but it was a serious movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, it had like some really important metaphors about family and not being an arrogant little stuck-up greedy shit, but
This was almost in the vein of like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, but more brutal and dark and gory.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think that's a fair comparison to make, but yeah, totally. I mean, I think this film balanced out the seriousness and the fucked upness,
Plus, before that,
and the comedy.
Before that movie, it has been a long time since we had like a Christmas horror.
Like a good Christmas
Like
horror.
I'm pretty sure like the last Christmas horror before Krampus was like Black Christmas in 06.
Yeah, it
So we
could
go
be.
from 06 to 2015. And then as soon as Krampus came out in 2015, we had all these like the independent Krampus knockoffs because like
Yeah.
I guess no one can have the rights to Krampus because Germany has that, and we don't want to
Mhm.
start a world war over Krampus.
Yeah, no, not at all. And Krampus over there is like way fucking more terrifying if you can believe
I
it.
saw like they had people dress up as him, and like that shit
Mhm.
looks terrifying. Germans are crazy people.
But the movie one I think was still like pretty faithful to how terrifying Krampus is supposed to be. So yeah, it did a good job. But you mentioned all the knockoffs and stuff. It also inspired a bunch of other Christmas movies too. Better Watch Out. And then the movie we're going to be talking about in the next segment. But I actually didn't watch Better Watch Out. But
which
there
one was
that?
with the babysitter?
Yeah, the
I
baby,
watched that one.
the
That
kid that was crazy or something.
Yeah, I watched that one. That one was really fucking good.
Okay, I gotta watch it. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to. But there was that one. There was also Red Christmas.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Some parts of it I liked. Some
I didn't
parts
say.
of it
Did
I
you
didn't
think
like
it was a good movie? Did you like it?
I kind of liked it.
Because objectively, that movie was shit.
Yeah, objectively, it wasn't that good. But the character of like the antagonist,
Yeah.
great,
Dude,
phenomenal.
It was crazy that he was nearly invincible. Because
Yeah,
I guess they were playing off the whole like retard strength thing. You know how they always do in these movies. Like, and have you noticed that's kind of fucked up? Like
yeah.
in every horror movie, it's
seriously.
like, yo, why is he so strong? He's mentally retarded. It's like, oh fuck, why couldn't he just be supernatural? You know
that's
what I mean?
how that's how Michael Myers and
Well,
not
yeah.
to get into it, but in Rob Zombie's Halloween, that's how he felt to me. Like
Yeah.
that's how they portrayed him.
I mean, if you when I watched Halloween with my dad and my mom as a kid, like the first thing my dad saw when he saw all the shit Michael's doing, he's like, he's sick, he's retarded. Like, I was like,
Oh my god.
I was like, oh shit, yeah, he is.
Oh man.
I mean, Michael Myers probably. I don't think he's retarded. Like, 'cause he's fucking smart.
Yeah.
He's not just sitting behind that mask.
I mean, yeah, none of these serial killers and shit are really like unintelligent,
Yeah.
but they're just not like,
altogether.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Still, don't give them the stereotypical quote unquote retard strength. I'm not saying it. I'm quoting it. People
Yeah.
still use it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's just funny to me. Like, stop making like people with mental disorders like super strong.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why they even like ended up making Jason into a monster. They probably understood that. They were like, all right, let's just make him fucking deadite, and then he'll have
Exactly.
like crazy super strength.
That's why Jason, I think the series was like much more better than like
Mm-hmm.
the Michael movies, because like, I don't know, Michael was just like, they were introduced the supernatural element fully, like, and explained in part 6. Then they took it out in part 7 and H2O, and like
Yeah.
they just made him like not super. He didn't have super strength, if you noticed, in like the non-Thorn movies.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like unusually persistent, and he just would get. I think he just got lucky every time. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think when in H2O, when he got his head chopped off, that's the end of that timeline. That was not a paramedic. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, but this guy in Red Christmas, I don't
Yeah.
know. It was kind of weird to me too, because
really-
apparently like his skin was fucked up. So how could he just go around killing people all the time?
yeah, he was the same color as like vanilla acrylic paint. Like,
Yeah.
and like him like quoting Bible scriptures and stuff, and like
Yeah, it was really weird.
he was cloaked the whole time, and like.
Yeah, it was kind of odd. You know what though? I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure I've seen posters of this movie, and over his face it looks like he has like a skull mask or something on. That wasn't in the movie, I don't think. So I was kind of disappointed about that. That was just like a random thing that I
Oh
didn't
yeah, that
like
was
about
in
this
the, like,
movie.
the Netflix preview, I
Right?
think.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not crazy, I don't think. But anyway, that was like a super minor thing. I kind of liked it, but yeah, it was objectively not a good movie.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it though. Like,
Yeah. But and then there's some other ones too. Jack Frost. I
Oh,
still
shit.
gotta watch that.
what else do we have? Oh, you never watched Jack Frost?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm bad, but I didn't have time to, unfortunately. But Jack
No, I mean,
Frost, I
you've
know
never
is
watched
like
it?
no, I've never seen it, but I know that it's a classic Christmas horror movie.
Dude, I watched that like I watched that when my sister Betty still lived here. This
Yeah.
was like, I'm talking like probably either late elementary, like 4th, 5th grade, or like early middle school.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that was a long ass time ago.
I don't
Yeah, I've
remember
never
much
seen
of
it.
it, but I just remember I watched it for sure.
Mhm.
I rented it from fucking Video 22.
It came out in 1997.
Yeah, I got it from Video 22.
So it was still kind of newer back then, almost. But yeah, actually, I'm looking at this one. I haven't seen this one yet either, and I know you haven't either. But Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale. Now that was one that actually came out in 2010. The problem, I think, as to why it didn't like blow up was because it wasn't American. I
Oh,
think it
shit.
was like It was some kind of Scandinavian or something, I think, because I think it takes place in Finland, I want to say.
Well, why doesn't the United States do what they always do with these foreign horror movies? Just remake them.
Yeah, I think they're planning on it.
Because they already did that shit with Martyrs and...
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Almost immediately. Like, it was, well, not immediately. It was like 3 years later, but still.
Yeah. But this movie takes place in the depths of the Korva Tunturi Mountains, which I think are in Finland or somewhere over there. And essentially, this concerns Santa Claus as an actual, like, monster, as an actual entity. Like, these people unearth him, and then he goes on some crazy killing spree in this, like, mountain village. It actually looks really good. If any of you guys have seen it, let us know what you think about it. I've heard really good things. It's got like a 90% or something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, or like 84 or something like that.
I've got to add that to my queue.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably on Xfinity.
So far, lots of stuff about Santa and everything. We got to talk about the one biggest one that we've omitted so far. Arguably, like, not a horror movie. Gremlins.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I forgot all about Gremlins.
We have to talk about
Dude,
Gremlins.
they're making a new Gremlins soon.
Yeah, I know.
I saw like the behind the scenes shit.
Yeah.
I think it was you that tagged me in it.
I think that was Critters.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was that Critters?
Yeah, it was Critters.
Oh, yeah, they are remaking.
But I think there's something going on with Gremlins too. Don't quote me on that.
No, I'm pretty sure we talked about it on the news at some point. Because I made fun of, like, they had this cafe where they're like, yeah, that's the car from Critters. You know? Like,
oh, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to look back in on that. But the original movie, so iconic. And like I said, arguably horror or arguably not horror.
It is. It's
I think so. And I think it's partly because it's such a cult classic. I think horror is just so encompassing now that most, like, cult things will kind of become absorbed by it, which I think happened to Gremlins sort of, because I agree that it's kind of a horror movie, but at the same time you can argue it's more of like a fantasy. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that because
Toxic Avenger is considered a horror now.
Yeah,
because, like, just cult reasons.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I totally think that Gremlins is, you know, especially because if you put yourself into that situation, you know, that's pretty terrifying, having to look after these little monsters.
Yeah, fuck that. I wouldn't want to do that.
And they go crazy and, I don't know, try to, like, eat you and shit. Like, no.
They're just like little, like, monkey piranhas. Like,
yeah, exactly. But I mean, first of all, the whole premise of this movie, really original. The actual concept of the Gremlins was very innovative, I think, with all the rules and all that stuff. And, you know, it really kind of is a Christmas movie because it takes place on Christmas. It's about this guy who finds this weird thing and he learns to love it. And, you know, there's a lot of this stuff about love and family and everything in this movie. So,
yeah, as with every Christmas movie, there always has to be something about family. But not Black Christmas, though. Let's remind you.
Yeah, no, not Black Christmas. That's kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum as far as the themes go.
Yeah, that's the aesthetic.
It's just like, okay, we're gonna give you this backdrop of Christmas, nice, happy, jolly presents and everything.
We're gonna fuck your world.
Exactly. Gremlins is kind of on the
complete
good
opposite
spectrum, yeah.
Spectrum.
As some of these other ones are, you know, very heavy Christmas vibes. There's a lot of stuff about, you know, family and relationships and loving people and giving back to people and, you know, being kind to others and all that kind of stuff, you know. But there's still people dying and everything, you know. And Gremlins has a lot of those kind of scary elements too, which I think makes it like the perfect Christmas horror movie in my opinion.
Well, it has some suspense.
Yeah, it did for sure. So Gremlins, I think one of the horror movies of the holidays that gives off like the biggest vibe of the holidays. Like, this is what you watch, like, you know, Christmas Eve going into Christmas Day, like that kind of movie. At least
Gremlins, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Are there any other ones that you wanted to talk about?
Not in depth, but I do. It's new on Shudder. Christmas Presents, not with a TS, with a CE. That one was pretty good. It was a supernatural Christmas movie. Okay. I thought it was dope. And then we do have that other one.
That's right. Yeah, there's another new one on Shudder, and we're actually going to talk about it right now on The Chopping Block. Today's movie is All the Creatures Were Stirring.
There's these two orphans. I know it's fucked up. They're orphans. All right, get over it. Now they're just meeting up. And they didn't want to be alone on Christmas or something, you know. So there's this fat guy and there's this good-looking ginger chick. That's right, I said it, ginger. Soulless bastards.
Welcome.
Anyway, he meets up with her at the movie theater, and there's this like really fucking weirdo just like staring at this chick at the whole time. This old dude, remember the old dude?
Mm-hmm.
And then you know, they're getting tickets, and there's this like really bitchy chick, and she's giving them attitude, like not even saying anything, just the resting bitch face, and like she acted like getting the items was a task, even though they were right next to her. And she had a twin sister that we later found out. But this couple goes into this movie, and it's not a movie; it's people acting something out, but we get to see like if what they were acting out was real. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the first story takes place at a fucking office building, and you know they're doing like what's it, that Secret Santa shit.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden they get locked.
White elephant. Yeah.
Yeah, and they get locked the fuck in, and they're in like a Saw situation, and then we find out at the end.
Well, don't spoil it.
That it was someone who works there.
Yeah. There's the second segment, and you know, after each of these actual segments, it shows you more of like what's happening in the actual theater with the two people on the date, not date, whatever.
Yeah.
And it just gets kind of progressively weirder, and you start noticing like little things. So this is like the wraparound story. I kind of liked it until the ending. I'm not really going to get in depth about it without spoiling anything, but I didn't like the ending of the main story that much. That's all I'm really going to say about it. Kind of disappointed me. But the second segment of this movie in the parking lot, so good.
Oh man, that was my favorite segment of the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. Great vibes, actual like good cinematography. And I liked the twist a lot. I was not expecting what happened at all. It was super innovative to me. And I really wanted to see more of it.
Yeah, I did too, because they just kind of cut it off right when we got to see it, basically. Like after like maybe 4 minutes of like them just talking about it, and like,
Yeah.
I don't know, there needs to be a sequel to that, because like
Yeah.
I like the creature guys, bro. Like,
Yeah, me too. And a very simple premise too. Just start off. A guy gets locked out of his car all alone in the middle of an empty parking lot, and there's a van over in the distance that he sees, and he's got to try to get back into his car. You know, it's Christmas. He's got presents and stuff, and that's really it. And then they expanded on it, and I love seeing stories like that.
I like shit that happens like in the middle of nowhere too, when there's not many people around, like in a parking lot, or like a dude working at a convenience store and there's a stalker, or like shit like that. I don't know, shit like that is like the best. But this took it in a whole nother direction. I didn't think what was gonna happen. Little bit of a spoiler alert. When that knife came out, I thought the worst. You know, like, I was like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah, honestly, like that, it threw me for a loop, which is, I loved it, because I was thinking of all these possible scenarios as to like what could happen. And, you know, honestly, I didn't really guess it that much. I mean, I kind of guessed it to an extent, but it still caught me off guard. So I really liked that segment a lot. There were 3 more segments. And as for the first one, I also kind of liked it. I thought from 2 onwards, I thought they get way worse.
Yeah, I don't even remember most of them. What came after this?
So the third one, oh God, which one? The third one was stupid. I didn't like it. I can't remember now.
Oh, the guy with he's like the Scrooge, and he gets visited by the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah.
And it makes him like die or whatever.
Yeah.
We could spoil the shitty ones.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's not even really still a spoiler. There's some other crazy shit that happens. It was okay. Some people might like it, but that one felt super amateurish to me. I'm just going to say this, like the last 3 segments to me, the last one was okay, but they still all felt like really amateurish to me.
The E.T. one you talking about?
Yeah. The
that one
last
was
segment
okay.
had some kind of...
I don't remember. What were the ones before that? Do you remember?
So there was the one we just talked about with the guy and the spirit and the TV and stuff. And then the other one was with the reindeer.
Oh, that was fucking dumb.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. No spoilers there again. It's something involved with that. I will say, you know, all these segments did play off the Christmas thing pretty well, you know, for the most part. Like it was pretty front and center, but Yeah, the third one was I just thought the last 3 segments were like, I don't know, just ill-conceived. Like the premise initially I think was good for all of them, but the execution just wasn't there. Like
Yeah, it was kind of amateurish. I thought it was gonna be a bit better.
yeah.
I just really liked the first 2 segments.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I thought the
And
first
the
2 were
last
done
one,
well.
like you said, like
I mean, I know this is an anthology thing, so each director kind of films their own thing differently, but like this is a Shudder movie and it comes off as being like a professional production. And the last 3, honestly, for me, felt like films that like some of the filmmakers around here do, or not, not in Detroit, but just like anywhere. Like there's always going to be, filmmakers that don't have that much of a budget or that good equipment, and their sets just have like no mise en scène. Like there's no good lighting or camera angles or anything,
yeah.
And that's how I felt these movies felt the very last 3. So I didn't really like them that much.
The last one though, the only qualm I have with it is, hey, how about just fucking black and white color palette? Like, I
Yeah.
was like, and then some things stuck out, and I was just like,
Yeah, that's already been done. I mean, that's one of those things where it's like it's cool if you do it for like the first few times, but if you're like an avid movie watcher, that's already been done so much.
it's gotten old. That's like
Yeah.
if I started making like those memes with like the douchebag dude, douchebag Dave or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
his name is.
No, I hear you. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. And then there was like a stupid use of CGI in it, which I won't give away, but I didn't like it. The last one was definitely better than the 3rd and 4th segment, but
I don't remember the
I
one.
don't
Was
know.
that the one after the reindeer? The
yeah,
last one?
yeah.
Okay, so we remember. We got all of them. I think.
Yeah, that was it. There were 5 short segments in total, and then it was the ending. I just really thought the movie lost steam after the second segment, which is unfortunate because I was excited to see more after that.
I felt like this movie wasn't really too thought out. I felt like they just kind of like that, like the ending. I mean, like they didn't think it through like before they wrote the whole script. I think like
Yeah.
they were just writing the script and like, fuck, what now? What do we do with these characters? How about make the fat dude something? Make her think he's something because
Yeah.
of what the performers do. Like
Yeah, I actually thought that the build up to that was good. I just thought the ending was shit to like the wraparound story.
yeah.
They tried to pull the trigger and they fucking backfired miserably, I thought, at the ending. But so I'll say like this was a less than half good movie. I would only really recommend that you see it for like the first 2 segments.
Yeah, I really like those.
Yeah, so it's kind of chopped to me, but if you watch like half the movie, you'll probably enjoy it.
When I texted you to like watch it because it was really good,
Mhm.
I was doing like as I was messaging, I just got done with the second segment.
Yeah, I got you.
So
And then after that,
after that, I didn't want to be like, oh, it gets real bad.
no. Yeah, I mean, I was still gonna watch it anyway. It's a new movie. It's on Shudder. If you want to check out some pretty decent short films, at least watch the first 2. But like I said, I thought that the production quality and the effort really dropped for the last 3. They felt pretty amateurish, and it felt like they just shoehorned in. That's my word for the day. They shoehorned in some fucking CGI to make up for some scares, and that's just not how you do it. Like I do short films. I've been in competitions. I've watched other entries and stuff, and usually the winners have a really innovative concept and they execute well on it. They don't cheap out, and it kind of feels like that's what the last 3 did in this movie. That's my opinion. That's my verdict.
They just like ran out of fucking resources. They're like, all right, budget's done.
Yeah,
Carl, bring over your shit. Like,
probably.
it's not chopped for me just because like the first 2 segments, but like, all right, not chopped. But after you watch the first 2 segments, turn it off.
Yeah, or just be prepared to watch something that's probably going to disappoint you.
Like the next 45 minutes are boring as fuck.
Yeah. If the cinematography was better, I maybe could have sat through it and been like, all right, this is pretty okay.
Honestly, Christmas Presents, the movie that was like right next to it
Mhm.
on like the list, so much better. Than
Really?
this. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if anything, go check out Christmas Presents. Or actually, I'll throw out a suggestion. It's not a Christmas movie, but if you want a really good movie, it just came out on Shudder. It's not new, but it just came out on Shudder. It's Ichi the Killer.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I've heard of it.
Takashi Miike, the same dude who did Audition.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
That's a really good movie. It's absolutely nuts. So yeah.
Yeah, all I heard about that one was I was fucked up.
It was, yeah, but it was really good, I thought. Basically, it's just this guy who gets hired by the mafia because he's like really good at torturing people, stuff like that, and it kind of revolves around him. And there's like a police investigation. I don't know. It's really good. But go check those out. If you do check out All the Creatures Were Stirring, then let us know what you thought about it.
Yeah, let us know if you thought it was like a masterpiece.
Yeah. So let us know. I mean, you can do so on all our social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then we have a website, gravediscussions.net, where you can send us messages as well and listen to all the episodes. So I think that's pretty much it. What do you have planned for the holidays, Sam?
Me, I'm going to an ugly sweater party, as you can see over there.
Oh yeah,
I got
nice.
the Hanukkah sweater.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, we didn't really talk about too many of the other holidays around here, just because Christmas is so prominent, and there aren't really that many other like
yeah, there's no
holiday
Hanukkah
horror movies. Yeah, not really. So, or at least any that are I think worth mentioning in this context.
No, there really isn't any.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I think. But yeah, the sweater's dope.
Yeah.
So
I got it
cool.
from fucking Michael's.
Really?
The fucking craft store when I was going to get the paint for the mask.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Nice. Very nice. Well, that sounds fun. I think I'm just probably gonna stay home, relax, chill with the fam, and eat some Christmas food.
Yeah, I forgot about food.
Yeah, food. I'm pretty excited. So yeah, let us know what you guys are doing too. I mean, we love to hear from you guys. Let us know if you have any cool plans for the holidays. Or just listen to Grave Discussions.
Yeah, tune in next week, you little ho-ho-hos, for some Grave Discussions.
Yeah, we're going to be giving our end of the year best horror lists.
Okay, before we do that, I got to watch Mandy.
You do, yeah.
What else do I have to watch? We got to watch Incident in a Ghostland, because that one has a high rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Stay tuned. We got a great episode next week on
Grave Discussions. Ho, 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 ho. God damn it.
And happy horror days.